look at how to use Git. I talked in my last video about the basic overview of Git, and now we're going to use it. So the first place we want to go is to github.com. You want to sign up and create an account, and once you've created the account, or here, and then you can sign in. So I've already created it, and then I'll sign with my username and password. The first thing we want to do is we want to create a new repository, and we're going to give it a unique repository name. So I'm going to call this Fall 2021. That sounds good. Maybe IT 1100. Good. And this is a sample repo for demo of Git commands. I'm going to make public. Anyone can use this if they want. Initialize the repository. Yeah, typically they have a README file in there. We could add a git ignore if we want and do some other things, but I'm going to creating a repository, and we can view it here now. This is my repository. It shows me I have this one readme.md file in it, and the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to clone this repository locally on my local system. So I'm going to copy that link and make sure it's an SSH link and not HTTPS. HTTPS is going to stop working soon, so we're going to use SSH. So I'm going to come over here and we're going to do a git. I think I just paste that command there. I don't know. So we're going to do a git clone, and I hit enter. Now, first thing it says is, hey, I can't do this. This, as we talked about in an earlier video, Git actually uses SSH keys for authentication. So we need to provide it our SSH key. So I should look here in my SSH directory. I have an SSH key here, but just for the sake of completeness, I'm going to delete this directory and recreate them in case you don't have a .ssh directory. We're going to do SSH keygen. This will create a private and public key pair. I hit enter several times, and now it created, once again, a public and a private key that we can use for authentication. I'm going to cat out my id rsa.pub. Oops, on my SSH directory. id rsa.pub, and I want to take this public key and copy it, and then take it over here to GitHub and make sure it has my public key so that I can make changes. So I'm going to come over here to SSH and GPG keys, new SSH key. I'll just call this demo key, and I'm going to paste that in there and say add SSH key. If everything works right, then I can come do this git clone command again and do that. Yes, or sure, I want to continue connecting. Yes. And it looks like it did the things that I wanted to do. If I do an ls command now, you can see that I have this directory, the fall 2021 IT 1100. I'm going to cd into that directory. There's my README file. Great, so I've successfully cloned that Git repository. Now let's make a change to it. So maybe I want to edit this README file. Here is a change, and I will save that, and now I'll do a git status, and you can see here that it says that you have modified a file, but there's no changes added to the commit, so I have not put it in the staging area yet. So let's do a git, oh, actually, we're going to do, it is in the staging area, I'm sorry. We're going to, oh no, we're putting it in the staging area, sorry. I'm going to do a git commit that says commit, and -am says I'm going to commit all my changes, but m says I'm going to put a message with it. So I'm going to say changed the README file. And then it says, wait, I can't do that just yet. You need to tell me who you are. So we need to run this command, at least the first time we do it, to set our email. Basically, Git attaches this email address to any changes that we make, so that we can track who's making a particular change. joe@joe.com. I don't really care what it says there. And then I'm also going to do this one, and my name is Joe. Great. So now I've set it up so it can track who's making these changes and whatnot. I'll redo that commit message. If we do a git status again, then it shows your branch is ahead of the origin or the main by one commit. So now I have a change that the remote branch doesn't have. When I'm ready to make sure I want the remote repository to have it, I can do a git push. And if all my SSH keys are set up correctly, it pushed those changes back. If I flip back here, back to my repositories, and go back to the one I was just doing, you can see there's the change that I just made. Let's do one more. I'm going to add a file to it. So info.txt. This is an info page. I don't care what it looks like. Whatever, just some content. I don't even care what it is. So get status, and now we're gonna add info.txt to the staging area. Git commit. Add it to the so that Git is aware of it. This will add it to the commit the changes to the local repository. So git commit -am added an info file, and then we can say git push, and it adds the changes there. I'm going to refresh this again, and now we can see there's 2 files, and I can see what's in it. So there's the basic overview of Git, and that's all I wanted to accomplish in this video.